Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel, 5:24 a.m. I hope you're having a great start to your Friday, October the 3rd, almost to the weekend. I've got my big blue mug of coffee. I really appreciate you being here. And by the way, I get the feeling YouTube is throttling this channel because of what I say here. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click on subscribe. It really helps out. Thank you so much. So today, I don't want to bury the lead. I want to follow through in a couple of videos I've done over the last couple of days, including the one I did from my backyard yesterday, in which I said Canada is over. David Eby ended it. And we've got another provincial premier that's helping end Canada. And what I want to tell you here today is that I believe the Liberal Party of Canada is sowing the seeds of disunity, of division in this country because it helps them out. And I believe we're being told, and I'm talking about Alberta, to stay in our lane, to do as we're told. We're being treated like a child. You can't have nice things. We're going to take your toys away unless you play by our rules. And we're being told this by provincial premiers, and Mark Carney is doing nothing to stop this disunity from happening. And it all stems back to Premier Danielle Smith trying to play within the rules. She needs to stop playing nice. And she needs to start getting even. We're going to talk more about that in just a moment. All right. So let's watch a quick video. Excuse me. The Alberta government put this out. I've taken the music out because it gets flagged for copyright, but just a short little bit of this and some videos from some provincial premiers that have so much in common with my province here in Alberta.
Come together here today because Canada stands at a critical crossroads. Beneath our feet here in Alberta, we stand on oil reserves valued at over $9 trillion. What stands before us right now is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to unlock our wealth of resources and become a world-leading energy superpower. And that's why we are announcing that the government of Alberta will be the proponent of an oil pipeline to the Northwest BC coast.
Alberta is trying to play within the rules, and they keep changing the rules on us. We can't have nice things because we're part of Canada. Now, this guy here is Yves Francois Blanchet, and he is the head of the Bloc Québécois separatist party. And Yves Francois Blanchet says Alberta is an international criminal, basically, and he wants to remake Alberta. This guy in Quebec wants to remake Alberta in his vision, running the world on rainbows and unicorn farts. Listen to what this a-hole has to say.
Let's imagine that Quebec is an independent and free country. We will go on the world stages to say that Alberta is destroying the environment of the whole planet. So I will say the same thing. Either it goes through Quebec or not. The idea of augmenting the volume of oil and gas, which is extracted and then burned and consumed, is irresponsible. I would agree with real measures to help Western Canada to transform, in time, progressively, its economy in order to get all of us out of this economy, which is destroying the planet.
He wants to remake my province in his vision, as he sucks the lifeblood out of Alberta when we send money off to the Canadian government and they give it to Quebec. Meanwhile, within a month or so, it's going to get very cold in Quebec. What did Ralph Klein say? Let the eastern bastards freeze in the dark. The man, most of the people in his province would freeze to death if it wasn't for fossil fuels. And he wants to call Alberta a criminal, an international criminal for what we're doing. Here's David Eby the other day. I mean, this guy's changed his tune completely. He was spitting fire when he was talking about this. Here he is.
We need a major projects office at the federal level, not a major distractions office, not a major politics office, but an office that advances real shovel-ready projects that will move this economy forward in British Columbia and nationally. And what I am seeing from Alberta directly threatens that.
This guy, within the last few months, said that if we had a project, he'd be happy to talk about it. He's gone to the point where we don't want it in the province. The Aboriginal groups don't want it in the province. We've got a tanker ban in the province. There's going to be no project whatsoever, ever. That's where we are right now in this country. And instead of playing nice, we need to start getting even out here. The other day on a video I did responding to David Eby, I said, the argument is, well, you'd be in the same boat if Alberta were independent. Well, no, we would have the federal government out of the way because we'd be our own country. We would have more bargaining power as far as I'm concerned because British Columbia would now be isolated from the rest of the country. And we could say to British Columbia, play ball with us, or we can just cut off the 3 or 4 roads that run between British Columbia and the rest of the country. And there's only 3 or 4 roads, folks. You either play ball with us or you might as well shut down your port in Vancouver because everything will have to be shipped through the United States of America because not a damn stick of wood, not one product will go through Alberta until you play ball with us. We could do that. I'm hearing more of this, and this is the kind of thing we need to start thinking about. And Danielle Smith needs to start thinking about. There's Danielle Smith. What has she got in common with this man? What has she got in common with this man? Nothing. We have nothing in common with these people. And they want us to be on a team? If you don't have a common goal, there's no team. The goal of Alberta is not the same as Quebec. It's not the same as British Columbia. And I don't think it'll ever change. Now, I said shut down the roads the other day, right here. Here's Corey Morgan. How many jobs would be lost if Alberta shut down the rail lines from BC for a while? Damn straight. I'm doing an interview later this morning, around 9 o'clock, with Mitch Sylvester from the Alberta Prosperity Project. He was recently in Washington talking to the Trump administration about getting recognition for Alberta if we leave. And I mentioned this. I want to talk to him about this. I said this to him yesterday. Did you hear what David Eby said? He said, yeah, we should shut down the rail lines. Not only that, he said, let's take out 300 meters of rail lines so they can't move a damn thing across this country and we'll devastate their economy. Ralph Klein said, let the Eastern bastards freeze in the dark. Do that to Legault out there with the Parti Québécois and to Blanchet as well and teach them a freaking lesson. I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm seeing online. It's from the Toronto Star. Give me a pipeline or I'm TPing your house. That's a pretty good Danielle Smith. Mark Carney there. What has Danielle Smith got in common with this guy? He's got lots in common with this guy. He's got lots in common with this guy. They all want to change the weather with your tax dollars. And I'm just going to make a prediction here, folks. People are now changing the narrative when it comes to food prices. See, food prices were supposed to come down when the consumer carbon tax was written away by Carney. And this was an issue of pure Polia for the longest time. I think that carbon tax is going to come back because right now people are complaining they're not getting the carbon tax rebate anymore and food prices keep going up because Carney's doing nothing about it. Sowing the seeds of division in the country, folks. I'm making that prediction. That's going to come back. And you know what's interesting? I've even seen, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Danielle Smith is trying to work within the country, to work within Confederation to get things done. And I see her being referred to as the C word online and being treated like a traitor and talked about being a traitor. It's disgraceful. But we have nothing in common with these people, and we're going to hear more of this. And the seeds of division are going to be sown even more as the independence movement grows. So watch for my interview with Mitch Sylvester. I'm looking forward to it later today. Hopefully I'll have it up probably tomorrow morning, maybe even this afternoon. But I'm sure he's going to have some interesting things to say about how this kind of stuff is helping the independence movement. Every time one of these provincial leaders, I'll be nice, opens their mouth and says something like this, one more person will check yes. Do you want Alberta to be a separate country? Yes, one more person will do that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.